Welcome back to Final Fantasy 1 for the PSP. Alright, warriors, gather up because this part is about collecting miscellaneous stuff. Don't worry, it will all be, make sense in the long run.
Alright, guys, we just need to find a good landing vantage for our flying ship.
Unfortunately, you decide to let dweebs pilot the airship.
Aha! Alright, guys, everyone strap in. I'm gonna make some hard turns.
Okay, Dwibs, now without killing us, I need you to land at this particular place, right here on the
Strap
map.
in, everybody!
I'm hanging on for dear life as it is.
This is why you're not getting seen until at least the next chapter. Anyway, we found the good news is that you found a good place.
If you wonder where the sick buckets are, I threw them overboard. They were too heavy.
What? Are you trying to make us sick?
There we go, found a decent place. The problem is that now you have to trek through the entirety of this field in order to reach the nearest town. Because unfortunately the devs were creative enough to actually put a lot of the forest in between that.
In the meantime, Black Mage right now is secretly doing that thinking joke from 8-Bit Theater, like, "Dude, I'm the monk. I destroy all of our airships. Dude, I am dead."
Wow.
It's surprisingly fits.
I'll admit, 8-Bit Theater really does have a lot of influence. Like, heck, even as a kid, I had heard about it. I have not gotten around to reading it yet, but I probably will, especially now that the
in
whole
the long run,
completed.
it actually was one of the first major, well-known webcomic during the primordial chaotic years
also,
of the
take a shot.
internet.
Lips was poisoned yet again.
Here's what you do. Go to Newgrounds. They're also on YouTube. Somebody has put them on YouTube, but they used unregistered hypercam, from back in Bandicam and shit like that to record it off Newgrounds. So just go to Newgrounds and you can watch the first 4. They made 4 episodes of that are basically animated voiced versions of the first few issues. Watch those, and if you like it, that should be your basic trial to see if you like it enough so that you'll read the rest in the comics, because they're great animation adaptations. Like they got a fantastic, hilarious actor to play the fighter, and he does such a great job in selling Fighter's dumb ass personality. So.
But again, yeah, like I said, it influenced things on the long run. Believe it or not, Riot Games actually based the characterization of the Black Mage of 8-Bit Theater, were actually one of their champions, surprisingly enough.
It's like how Red vs. Blue eventually got big enough to the point where even Bungie were paying homage to those guys. Red vs. Blue was so big enough, it actually was toasted on Netflix for a long period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And Microsoft were okay with that, apparently.
Well, the only company that seems to be more bitching about this stuff these days is just Nintendo. Anyway, welcome to Onrak. It's a quiet little town near the mountains. It doesn't seem to have much, unfortunately. Even the shops at this point of the game are becoming a bit scarce, and most of the goodies, you're gonna loot them from the dungeon and so. Anyway,
hey.
Look at my legs! Aren't they wonderful? I love having legs. Look! Did you see that move I just did?
I'm not touching the one with the 10-foot pole.
Oh, yes!
Well, I mean, we've already had...
You ever heard of something called Oxyale?
This was Meditum Vatus. That's Meditum before he became a ghost.
They say the shrine sank into the sea 200 years ago. Now there are mermaids living there.
We've already had something in this game that I'm sure Undertale referenced.
My dear,
it's appeared something else.
Hold on, this one. It's a well. It looks like you could climb inside, but you can't. Really. Please.
Thanks, narrator.
It's another reference to Dragon Quest, by the way.
My dear lady, are you trying to seduce me?
The other fella from the caravan is something awful weird on their sail. Again, another hint, potentially. But no, again, that...
Holy crap! A white mage with her
hood off. Oh my god! So that's
again,
what they look like.
Imagine you becoming that.
And yet we still can't see what the black mage without his hat looks like. I call
Sorry, that will always remain a mystery.
Sorry, Joa, but that's like Well, actually, I can't use that metaphor.
Usually Peach can... There you go. What this town will tell you, for example, is that someone has a caravan in a desert nearby, and there's something interesting that they can sell. So pay... Again, interesting information for later. Long ago, Nation, my brother Une would always talk about it, telling me how he could speak if he'd only had the Rosetta Stone.
Oh, great.
And basically, the ancient civilization here is called the Lufenian, and their language has been lost through time unless someone uncovers this fabled Rosetta Stone. So.
Gee.
But yeah, I just found a good metaphor. Sorry, Joe, but if a Final Fantasy game did do that, it would be the equivalent of how Sonic 06 shows us how Eggman's eyes look, which should have that should have never happened, and I'm glad Final Fantasy has never done the equivalent
Just a reminder
of it.
that the Sonic the Hedgehog movie was originally going to show a Sonic speed with the original
I wanted
design.
to say the mermaids living on the seafloor, so I made this submarine out of a barrel. But when it went underwater, I started running out of air and I couldn't breathe.
Let me guess,
It's
you want
totally
us to
useless.
use it.
Even worse, it's dangerous. You'd better keep away.
Wait, an NPC that actually is thinking what's best for us for once?
Well, we had to think backward in that kind of sense, Jova. 200 years ago, the shrine of Onrak flourished. It brimmed with the power of water. I ask but one thing of you. Please restore the power to its former grace.
Fine, we'll do that. We're rich enough as it is, and it seems
Well,
like these
we have
dungeons
been
have an
told,
amazing amount of money.
we have been told by the NPC that there's something called the Oxyale that could potentially help us, so...
There's
Hey,
also
guy.
We better find that.
fun
Hey, guys,
Fun fact here: the Oxyhale gets referenced and even used in World of Final Fantasy.
Well, yeah, I know, it's part of Shantotto and Tidus.
Oh, you
Hey, guys,
have you seen
remember
the
when
story on YouTube?
You show me the cutscene.
Oh, I did? Oh, I never
Yeah.
remember.
Hey guys,
Anyway,
remember when we were poor and were struggling to make ends meet?
We
Now
are-
have
we
over
aren't still?
20,000 gil.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
remember,
Okay, yeah, we had
I read
to.
enough for you to have so many guilds.
Well, yeah, we have 25,000 gil fighter, but we have yet to spend it on any actual, food. Something.
Well, it's all part of our saving budget here. Food is not necessary for us.
Well, it's a good thing I'm a golem then.
And it's a good thing that I just run on steer strict will.
What about Dwibs there?
He probably eats the corpses of a monster you kill.
The monk way.
So,
Anyway.
and I'm guessing Shiro magics her hunger away.
Anyway,
Pretty
in true tradition of video games in general, even treasure hunt, if there's a waterfall, there's probably something behind it. So after you deal with these monsters, go check it out. There lives. You're a bit more healthy now.
Thank you.
Pokemon logic. Lightning mops the floor with water creatures.
Well, the same also goes for the machines.
Uh-huh.
By the way, I'm surprised the steel type has never been weak to thunder.
Well, I guess it's because Magnemite is a thing.
So
There we
Teo,
go, the waterfall
sorry.
cavern. At the end of it, we will have to get another item, but gone.
So Teo, you're gonna travel for the waterfall cavern, but there's one thing you should know: beware the random battles. Cool, I say, but don't worry. You see those bad guys on the left, Teo? You want those to die.
It all makes sense when you put it like that.
And yeah, they're literally called Nightmare. Get it? Because they're horses and yeah.
Mare, huh?
Remember, guys, Phoenix Downs are your friends, but keep in mind they don't always work. I'm looking at you, Arif.
See, I didn't know what you were
Hey,
referencing
Eric.
because you didn't do the voice.
Hey, Arif, I got you some Venus.
Oh, you know what
Jump
you know what I'm
all the
talking
way
about?
down there and-
Yes, I know what you're talking about. I'm used to people doing the voice, though.
Okay.
So I wasn't sure. It took me a moment.
All right. In that case, hold on.
Oh.
Oh, hi there, Cloud. Clueless, you say? But please, by all means, let me teach you about random battles.
Oh, that video?
Yeah,
Oh,
from
See, even Joe needs
from legendary frog, he was also
Yes.
a Newgrounds artist.
When you do
from
the
back in the day.
voice, I instantly recognize it.
Anyway, the Pyrolese are just as deadly as the cockatrice, but instead of actually turning into stone, beckoning to kill you. So watch out.
Thankfully, they missed Dwibs.
Why is Shiro running? Shiro, come here and help us!
Shiro, you coward!
For later battles, I decided that the best strategy is to have a couple of warriors trying to run away, while others, defeat the enemies with mass spells in case it's needed. So basically, best case scenario, I get some experience, and worst, I just have to run away without taking too much damage.
Ah, okay. In that case, that's my cue. It will be best to run from this battle. Press the 2 shoulder buttons and run away like a little girl. Don't be sad, fighter. It's okay to run sometimes. Say, Aerith, you look wounded. How's about if Tifa heals your wounds? Oh, sorry, Tifa. Naughty thoughts. Yeah, the narrator in that Flash is really perfect. So.
Yes. Hey, Cloud, why don't you choose these two? They're hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what?
They even do that. Everybody hates Katesif and Yuffie joke with like, how about we pick Yuffie and Katesif? Just kidding, guys. No one likes you. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? You know what, guys? You can mock me for being a monk all you want, but at least I stay and fight. What does the white mage over there got to say?
She heals us?
She's a coward. She tried to flee from battle when we needed her most.
Do you want to stay dead or not?
I just saw Clay Golem casting haste on himself. Am I bullshit?
Well, Teo, to be fair, that's still better than the AI of Yu-Gi-Oh! Worldwide Edition 2004, at least. I'm not even kidding you, Jova. In that game, you can literally see the AI sacrifice a summon skull to summon another summon skull.
It's not just that Yu-Gi-Oh! Games are legendary by having some of the weirdest AI possible, because when the dual format 3 was still going on, the general rule was that when you place a field spell, you can immediately destroy if you or the other player place another field spell on the field, meaning that there can only be one. This was changed with Master Rule 4, but I'll mention another time. So, what happened in video games, since AI opponent will regularly carry 3 copies of a field spell, most likely we will have more than one on their hand, so it will put one and then immediately destroy by putting another identical one, going -1 for no reason.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fortunately, Outer Ocean seems to have taken over with the Legacy of the Duelist.
Like I said, this is also helped by Master Rule 4, which means that both players can have a field spell set on the field, and it cannot be destroyed anymore by placing another field spell, which again makes things more convenient. Go ahead, Jova.
Dwibs got afflicted with the darkness.
Yeah.
Specifically blindness. This reduces the power of your hits and potentially to a point where you can potentially miss completely.
It's interesting too, because it seems like Konami's current plan is to just keep updating Legacy of the Duelist. They've recently
which is fine by me. The version with V-Rains.
The Link Evolution expansion now has the V-Rains anime campaign added in. So
I still actually have to get used properly to the pendulum and link summoning, but gotta be honest, compared to a couple of months ago, or at least some years when we mentioned stuff like that in Reshape of Destruction and unlike then, I'm actually getting back into the game, mostly because I'm actually getting fond more of the archetypes and how they
well, I can tell you that, well, if you do get Legacy of the Duelist too, the game does have tutorials teaching you everything, including the more recent Pendulum Summon stuff, so the game does have it's even a play tutorial where the game literally, okay, now do this, and this is a Pendulum Summon, so the game literally coaches you through it, so it's good for that purpose, at least.
On the same note, but slightly different, I also caught up with the actual anime of Arc 5, and, well, Jova, if you thought Zexal is bad, Arc 5 is kinda... It's not stupidly bad, but it's not really a good time to watch.
Is it even nearly as annoying as Zexal is.
No.
No.
But it does compensate by having pretty much the worst of everything. The protagonist is just as annoyingly cheerful as Jaden from GX.
Cheeroy!
You know?
Come on.
The tone. Also, Joey. And dreams this tone too.
I'd rather dance, okay?
The
This is
situation is very
diplomacy
grim.
now.
Please find a way to get out of this.
Sorry,
God.
Tia, what's the age on about?
Yeah, I had to take care of it basically.
I'll mention this afterward because we're actually reached the end of a dungeon. Anyway,
You're welcome, guys. By the way, for saving your ass.
By injecting with a golden needle, the stone's debuff is cured. You also have found a ribbon. The ribbon is a staple accessory of a Final series, which allows one to not be afflicted by any debuff whatsoever. Depending on the game, it can be equipped by anyone or just the female member. So let's see. Jova, you look cute with that, but who knows?
Is it good for my stats? If so, then I will wear it handsomely.
Maybe on purpose? No. Yeah, maybe.
It's
I
interesting.
don't know.
It's interesting because in Dragon Quest XI, equipping certain.
Yeah, let's put it to Shiroi. Why not?
There you go, Shiroi, a ribbon.
Cute as a butt. Go on.
Yeah, have a ribbon.
It's interesting because in Dragon Quest XI, equipping certain equipment will change the character's, model look. However, there's the Definitive Edition added an option for outfits where you can just select a specific outfit, and that will always be the way the character looks, regardless of equipment, including the default outfits. If you want the character to always look like he looks in the default, so it works well for the purposes of those who just.
All right, let's. I have been waiting. Take this cube, Tiamat, Flying Fortress. Please.
Oh, a bit of sci-fi to add into our.
You obtained the warp cube. Please don't mishandle with care.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there you go. Oh.
What the? Oh my god, I think he's dead, guys.
Anyway, let's cut the game because I don't want to show the entire dungeon again. Next stop is the desert, where, like I said, the caravan was hanging around. But in the meantime, sorry, go on.
By the way, guys, you guys really need to start, especially you, Shiro, you need to start actually, collaborating instead. Basically,
but dancing is more fun, and it's
Joven Dwarves literally got stoned, and I had to basically defeat the monsters for them.
Anyway, there you go. The caravan, there you go, as you can see, will only sell you one item for now. A fairy in a bottle. It's a bit expensive, but why not?
Sure, why not? We can afford it.
Remind me again, Jova, why we got her to be part of our Warriors of Light group.
It's because she's the best one at casting Cure.
There you go. After getting
surely there are other white mages.
Yeah, I'm literally the only reason you're alive. Shut up.
But surely there are other white mages we can recruit.
Nope, all of the other white mages work in stores, apparently.
After getting the fairy, the caravan will actually start selling instead the tonics, which are very useful, mostly boosting your stats during battle, but I don't really recommend them. It's kind of like the same principle in Pokemon. They work for the battle, but you have to waste a turn to do that, so I wouldn't exactly recommend. Anyway, to mention to continue what I was mentioning, again, Arc 5 has the worst of the combined effort of everything. It has an annoyingly cheerful protagonist like Jaden in GX. It can potentially have darkness-induced audience apathy like 5Ds, especially the second arc. God, good lord. Anyway, when you get in this town, Gaia, the fairy in your bottle decides to escape, so let's try to find her in the meantime.
I haven't heard a lot of good things.
But hold on, Dweebs. And it also has a kind of a slightly disappointing finale, kind of like the original series. And from Zexal, it has a part of a setting, but I can tell you the good news. Since it involves a bunch of dimensions that are copies of the previous series, the Zexal dimension is constantly mentioned, but has been annihilated off screen from the fusion dimension, the equivalent of GX. Not only that, very brutally, because the fusion dimension used a bunch of ancient gear golems to practically enslave or massacre everyone who XYZ monsters.
That sounds like your dream come true, Pedro.
Wow, sucks for the 5 Zaxxel fans out there, I guess.
Well, mind, I heard that arc had its own problems. I heard it brought back all the characters only to do jack shit with.
Pretty much.
No,
But again,
you have to understand.
Again, there's a lot to unpack for Arc 5, and we don't have time, nor this is the place. So anyway, I don't believe it. You're outsiders, are you? How did you make this high up in the mountains?
We have a flying ship, honey.
What? Can you fly or something?
We actually
Why,
can,
yes.
yes.
Nah, that's impossible, right?
Oh, honey,
Clearly,
I can show
I'm-
you how possible it is.
Yes, in this world there's healing magic, there's fire magic, there's mystical beings, but people that
to
can
be
fly,
fair-
now that is just unrealistic.
No, that's just a developer. But to be fair, the airship is a relic of ancient past, so people are basically the first time they see one. So there's that.
I guess.
I think Pedro does have a point out that there's a bit of arbitrary skepticism going about here, considering how we literally have
Yeah.
4 crystals that can decide the fate of the world, but flying? No, that's ridiculous.
It's the same issue I had with in how for some reason in Sonic Colors Tails is skeptical that Eggman is up to no good, even though it doesn't really make any sense for him to be skeptical of that because that's all Eggman does. Like what? But anyway, that's the thing too. You have to understand too. Zaxxel episode 2 literally assaulted all 5 of my senses at the same time.
Oh,
I'm not-
Even
yeah.
smell.
It's that thing. It's more than just annoying to you. It's noise and it's literally torture. It's torture.
I can tell also. I can also say this because I actually saw at least a couple more of Zaxxel, both in the actual series and other side material. I don't really like the character design or
Okay,
that
okay.
series.
Well, I don't either.
How's V-Reigns?
Okay.
I haven't seen yet.
I will just maintain this to you. For whatever problems Arc V has, I will still take it 10 times over Zexo.
No, I can say you this, Jova. It's better than Zaxxel. He's not as annoying, nor is that idiotic.
The most
but it has
obnoxious
its
thing
share of-
ever made.
But it has its shares of problems. I argue with the franchise in terms of anime series. I speak with GX. I mean, I have a soft spot for 5D's aggressive edginess, but that's literally just me.
I've heard good things about V-Rain. On the other hand,
I still have to see it. Anyway, by Virgo, going into the more quiet place of the town, you reach a lake. And the theory, there it is. You're the ones who rescued me from that bottle.
Yeah, after we had to buy your
I'm
bottle.
sorry about running away, but I was just so scared.
And now I will
I'll
give
get
you a
some
power.
oxygen from the bottom of the spring to make up for it, okay?
What it even is, Oxiel lady?
Wow, considering this specific spot we're in, this even looks like we're talking to a great fairy from the Zelda series.
Oh god, will she assault us to change our clothes like in Breath of the Wild?
Oh
You
god.
obtain Oxyale. Please handle we care too. You need this.
See, the interesting thing about the Great Fairies in Breath of the Wild is that they're at the very least a return to how they were in the N64 era in terms of personality, but I don't care much for their new designs if I want to be totally honest. I mean, it looks like I understand what they were going for, but I don't know. It's just
Anyway, brace yourself, warriors, because in the next part you will actually sink into the sunken shrine. So protect that Oxyale for now. See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.